Hey everybody, welcome to the Curious Car Collector, and we're welcoming you to our Rusty Browne garage today. So this is just a quick video on how I lower some of my vehicles. Now, I have a few that are pink slip vehicles, and I actually wanted to lower them, and the way that I was doing it initially was, just trying to stick things in there and push up the wheels and all that. Of course, the YouTube videos show folks doing much more extensive things. Even though I had a drill and all that, I didn't want to do all of that, but I did find a way to drop mine. And the thing about it is the pink slip cars, a lot of them are the Jado toys, they have a suspension that where the wheels move up and down, which is one of the features that they have. And so really that is what kind of, just like a regular shocks in a car, it keeps the car at a certain height and the wheels down. Well, I was able to, almost by accident, I was fiddling around with one, but I discovered that suspension piece in there, and I actually removed it. And so we're looking at our orange Carrera here, but this is the piece that's usually underneath. Well, it's got some dust or something on it. This is the piece that's underneath, that's inside, and it goes in the bottom here, underneath the black part of the backing or the bottom of the car. Now, the interesting thing about the pink slip cars are that they don't always have the rivets, the two rivets. They might have one rivet in one part on the front, and then they may have a clip for the black plastic part, the bottom part in the back. So you can just take a screwdriver, which is what I did, and pry at the bottom and open it up, and you can pull off, like for instance with the Carrera, the rivet is actually here underneath, but this one doesn't have an actual clip, but this whole grill section here, if I'm pointing, is actually acts as a clip. So it clips onto the metal body and holds everything in here. Your lights and everything are all there. So if you get a screwdriver underneath, I'm trying to show it with the camera, underneath here, and pry it loose, you can actually loosen the bottom front part while it still stays attached to the rivet, and your wheels and everything will be exposed, including the suspension piece, which actually hooks in. I want to say it goes in back and it's forward like that. Once you pull that off, your axles will be actually underneath it, and you can just put the axles back in, but they will sit. Now the weight of the car will push down. You don't have the suspension pieces of tension like a shock absorber or springs or shocks, so you don't have that anymore. So now the wheels will sit. Oh, my little person fell over there. But the car will sit down with its weight pushing down and the wheels pushing up. And now we have our dropped look. This particular 911 was an issue for me when I first got it because it just sat too high. I didn't like the gap between the top of the wheels, of the tires, and the fenders, which is, I always like a tucked look anyway. It's just the way I like. So, and I mean, you can put something all the way to the ground, just scraping for me, and I don't like it, but which isn't always practical in real life or even in the diecast world. But it was just a big deal for me. So I was always trying to find ways to lower it, but that's what I did. So wheels sit right in, they sit low. Now these are not particularly racing. They're not like regular Hot Wheels mainline that you race in tracks and so on. These are much more for show, so these are still. So free wheel movement and all that is not so much of a big deal, and the wheels don't really spin as fast or as whatever like maybe they would, but you're parking most of the time anyway. And I was able to do it. What I'm doing right now is my Aventador has the same situation. So you can see now with the Aventador, it actually has two rivets. There's a rivet in the front and there's a rivet in the back. But again, using the same method of the screwdriver, another person that fell over there, using the screwdriver, you're able to pop it. And I just have it lifted like this, looking like a funny car, just so you can see how everything goes inside there. So there's the whole axle together. You can see where the rivet goes in. And there's the suspension piece. See, there it is. It pushes down, keeping the wheels down. And now this one in particular had a horrible gap. I've got it in one of the shorts, I think. And it just looks like it's an off-roader. It's just sitting so high. And I'm like, absolutely not. So I'm actually working on it now. I've done a few others. I've done my other Porsche. Got a Mustang that I've done. I have my 934 Porsche that I'll show that I also did. So most of my pink slip cars, and I have to look around and see if I have some more. Probably gonna do all of them. I have removed the suspension piece and dropped them and clipped them back in. And it doesn't take too much. I didn't have to break anything or tear anything up. And believe it or not, even with the rivets, I had one of my other ones that had a rivet. It snapped right back in, even with the rivet. So I didn't have to drill. In my case, I didn't have to drill anything out or glue anything back. It just popped off the rivet like this one did, and usually snaps back on. Of course, if that doesn't work for you, you can glue or do something else. But we're gonna go ahead and work on this one and put everything back for the Lamborghini. And once it's done, you can get an idea of how it looks already with the back wheels. You see how low it sits, because the suspension U-piece is already loose. But once it's done and completed, we'll get back and show you. And this would be, obviously in the garage, you'd be on the inside doing that. But for video's sake, of course, we've got it outside. So imagine a Lamborghini in the parking lot looking like this would be insane. But yeah, so I wanted to share that with you all, just a quick video on the how I work on my suspension. And I have other techniques and tips as well that I could share. But that was just a quick one. Once again, you do what works for you when it comes to customizing and everything. There's a lot of wonderful suggestions out there, and really good videos from all kinds of folks. Definitely take the suggestions and use them. Figure out your own way. It's all about the fun. These cars they're fun. We always want to remember that. I'm going to do a video later on about that as well, because the collector world is a wild world. It's always good to remember while we collect, because we're still kids at heart, and they're still toys, and we love it, right? So, have fun. Have fun. You take things as serious as you take it, as technical and complicated as you want, or you can do things as simple as you want. And always stay within what you can afford. I haven't been able to really afford getting a lot of wheels and swaps and all that. I discovered, I could paint them. I paint my wheels. And I have a brand new fresh set of wheels, which is something that I like to do. But that's not for everybody. Later on, I might be able to get, do some wheel swaps and things like that. But, do what you can afford. Do what you can afford. And if you can't afford things, go ahead. If you can't afford it, don't let that stop you from coming up with ideas to make things happen. Okay, so if you like the video, please like, Please subscribe. Thanks everybody for tuning in. All the folks that make the comments and everything. Thank you so much for the comments and watching the videos. That Golden Cobra who watches every video. Really appreciate that. It's a big shout out. Golden Cobra. Check out Golden Cobra's channel too, y'all. A lot of interesting and cool things there. Working on his city and getting his city built up. So yeah, show the support. He's trying to build up his subscribers. Go ahead and subscribe. Everybody take care. Thanks again. Here we are from the Rusty Browne garage. Talk to y'all later.